Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage, and today we're going to be having a look at VECHAIN. Okay, so what we were talking about previously here was looking for this potential of this as an A, B, and C. We do have some alternatives, so we're going to go over this one first, and then what we would want to see happen here in order for this to actually play out. Now, we do have potential that we could still look to break down. We will go over that afterwards, so make sure you stay tuned for all of the counts that we are currently following. Okay, so at the moment we're looking for this potential where this could be an A, this could be a B, and this could be a C wave to the upside, looking for this 0.039 area as a 1-to-1. There is also the potential this could become 1-2, a bigger third wave up towards the 0.6184 area. Now, if this is the case, what we were talking about previously was looking for this as a corrective move to the downside. Now, we were talking about this as potentially a fourth and a fifth wave to the downside here. However, this has gotten quite large, and it is pretty much, well, it hasn't invalidated yet, but it is very close to it. Now, invalidation comes at this 0.2110. Moving up past that would invalidate the idea that this would be an additional fourth and a fifth. Now, it doesn't invalidate the bearish count completely, but what we could then argue is that potentially this move actually completes further back here towards where this 1-to-1 is of this white A, B, and C, which ties into this 1-to-1 over here. Now, if we do actually look at this in that way, and we say, okay, we've completed into that point, what we would be looking for would actually be something more along these lines, where we'd be looking for the potential where this could be a wave 1, this is a 2, this is another 1, 2, and then basically within this, we would be within the blue third wave count. Now, if I come here into the 1 hourly, what I'm looking for here is that the potential of having a diagonal pattern here to complete, and we have come up to this 1-to-1 already, so it is possible that we could be looking to complete this fairly soon here. I wouldn't want to see it really get much higher than this 1.618. If this is the case, potentially we could see this move look to actually invalidate that fifth wave potential, which would come at this 0.211 area. So if we do move up past this red line, we invalidate the potential of a fourth wave. However, until we actually do, we need to be cautious that it could still actually play out. But what we'd be looking for within this count is actually once we complete this as a third wave to the upside, this blue third wave here, we'd be looking for an additional fourth wave to the downside. Now, the target area for this would be this 020 to this 019 zone. So this would actually be where we'd be looking for. If we start to lose this 01987 area, it becomes less likely we're going to see this continuation here. So what we'd be looking for within this count would actually be a fourth wave down into this previous fourth wave location, then looking for an additional fifth wave towards this 2153 to this 2119. If we did get a 5-wave push up into this region, then we would be looking for this 1.618 here of this 2130 to confirm this yellow third wave. After that point, what we would then need to see is an additional fourth wave looking to settle in the same zone as this previous fourth wave here, and then actually looking for this continuation to the upside. If we did find support in the same range here of this 0.212, what we could then see is a fifth wave, which actually looks to push up towards this 2196 to this 2155. Obviously, until we start to break down here, we have to just be aware that these moves can always extend out. And at the moment, I'm counting this as a bigger third wave here, but it is possible that within this, we could have actually had just a 1-2-1-2, and that this could be extending out even higher, but that would require a much bigger move to the upside for confirmation. So this is why I'm counting it in this way for the time being. Now, if we did see a move up here towards the zone of this 02196, this would tie into the idea that this from further back here would be a wave 1. We'd look for a 3-wave move to the downside for a wave 2, and then we'd be looking for this bigger third wave here, potentially up towards this 1.618. Now, it is also possible that this structure could just be a ABC structure, in which case we see a 1-to-1 move here towards this 2293 area. So if we just see this play out as a 5-wave move up here, a 3-wave move down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside, towards the zone of this 0.2293, this could still tie in with that idea of this being just a corrective move, although it would not be in a fourth wave anymore. So what we'd be looking for here is if we do start to form a bigger 5-wave structure here, we then want to hold this low again on the retracement of this 118, this 01854. If we did manage to get a move up towards this 2698, And then we actually look to break down in a three-wave structure. This would then tie into that idea that this could become an A, this could become a B, and then we could be looking for a C, or alternatively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looking for that bigger push to the upside. So the reason I'm just saying about the ABC potential is because we also talked about this previously, where we were discussing the potential that we could actually have a bigger triangle from further back here, where this becomes A, B, C, D, and we could see a three-wave move up here for an E wave. So because of this fact, we need to just be cautious that if we do see this develop as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get a three-wave move down, another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up into this zone of this 0.65 to this 0.618, which would be here, this 26.72 to this 26.24. What we could then get here is the possibility that we're actually still within this triangle. So this would be an interesting zone, because obviously we've got this 0.618, this golden pocket here, as well as the potential of swing failing this high here. So this would be quite an interesting level if we do move up into this zone. As well as that, we do have some areas here of interest. We do have a weekly naked point of control below it, and then we also have this one a little bit higher than it at this 28.15 if it did look to extend up a little bit higher. So I would be keeping an eye on this. This would also bring us back into this center channel line here. So this would be quite an interesting zone if we do actually look to push up here. So if we just get three waves to the upside here, this could still tie into this idea of the triangle. So we just need to be mindful of that. Now, if we are looking at that possibility of a breakout to the upside, like I said, you know, this five-wave move could potentially set us in motion to move up towards this 03901. But what we need to see here is that we need to see this play out as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we'd be looking for another three-wave move, holding these lows, and then looking to build on that with another five-wave structure for a wave 3, and then a wave 5 to follow, looking for this higher range. Now, like I said, because of the fact that we're still looking for that possibility of a triangle, we could actually look for another three-wave move up and we break down, or alternatively, there is also a more bearish way of counting this. So obviously we haven't invalidated this yet as well, so until we actually cross this zone of this 02110, we need to be cautious of the possibility of breaking down one more time for this fifth wave, looking for this zone of this 0198 to this 01715. Now, even if we do move up past this, we need to be cautious, because if we actually are looking at this as a potential invalidation here, we could actually still see a bigger break to the downside, where actually what we have here is a 1-2-1-2. Now, the reason that I'm not too keen on this is because the secondary wave 2 would be a lot bigger than the primary wave 2 here. So it is still possible technically, but it becomes a little bit unlikely. But until we actually break above this 02336, we need to be cautious of this idea. Once again, an interesting zone here would be the 0.618 here, this 02139. This aligns with the swing high here, which would be looking for that potential of actually moving up here, swing failing, and then having a bigger break to the downside. So if we do invalidate this push up, until we actually break and get a sustained break above this 02224, we need to just be cautious of that that downside potential, because at the moment, you know, we're looking for this counter as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, but at the moment we could also argue that this is a B wave as a triangle here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is just actually a three-wave move, because we can't have a triangle in a wave 2. There are a couple of ways of counting this move, so we need to just wait for the confirmation here. But until we actually see this break above these levels and get back above this zone here of the 02336, I would still be cautious for that potential of actually having a direct break to the downside. Now, if this is the case, this would be looking to take these lows out, and this would be tying up with that idea where we're actually looking for this additional fifth wave to the downside here, looking for this target area here towards this 01288 to this 00956. Obviously, this would then tie into the first part of this move. We'd be looking at this 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Then we get another fourth and a fifth. And then what this would basically mean is that from further back here, we could either have this as an additional 1, 2, where this all becomes a wave 3. We get a fourth and a fifth. Or alternatively, we have the triangle completing slightly earlier here. and we could just see this as 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 and 5. Now this would still be looking for that same target area. That would be this 0188 to this 00956 zone. One thing I haven't also ruled out here is that because of the way this structure is forming to the downside here, we could actually see something play out like this, where we have a diagonal where this is 1 2 3 4 and then 5. So this would be sort of similar to that idea of a triangle, except what we'd be looking to do here is actually complete this move with a fifth wave down. So the reason I'm looking at this is that if this is looking to push to the downside, this move here, if we do form a diagonal as 1 2 3 4 5, this could actually tie in with forming either an A wave, or it could be a wave 1. So because of that fact, this could actually form potentially, this whole move here could then become a wave 1. We'd get a wave 2 to the upside, and we'd see a another third wave to the downside, and an additional fourth and fifth. Alternatively, within the other way where we would be discussing this count, where we're looking at this move as a corrective structure down, where we're looking for basically for that idea of a B wave here, and then looking for this as a C wave to the downside. This diagonal idea could actually look to complete above this low. So we need to be aware of that even if this is actually a B wave, or alternatively a fourth wave, if we do get a diagonal that completes above this wave 3, this could actually still mark a completed move, in which case we could see a bigger reversal to the upside. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. If we do form a diagonal here, and then we actually see a 3-wave move to the upside, this would tie within that idea that we could see this as A, B, and C, or 1, 2, and looking for the third wave. Now, we also discussed previously the idea that we could actually have a bigger diagonal playing out here, where from further back we were treating this as a 1, 2, looking for this. Let me just turn this other count off actually, just to clean it up a little bit. We were treating this as a 1, 2. Now, what we could be talking about here then is that if we did have this internally as a diagonal here, this could be that A wave of that move. Then we'd be looking for this ABC to the upside, and then looking for this third wave. Now this third wave would not be allowed to cross this 01473 area. Crossing this area would actually indicate that this is not a diagonal, because it could not be longer than this wave 1 that we have here. If we get a move past this, it means that we have some different structure actually playing out. So some other things that I want to discuss here is that we can see here, if we look at this entire area as a range, we've actually reclaimed this value area low here. And what I'm looking out for is that we could actually start to get attracted up towards this zone here of this point of control, which is sitting towards this 233 zone. Now, if we did see a move up into this could actually be potentially a turning point if we're looking for that bearish standpoint, where we could actually look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5. So this is be tied into that diagonal idea. Or alternatively, if this is just becoming this is extending out, where potentially we would be looking for this as an additional leg to the downside. So we're going to be keeping an eye on this point of control. As well as that, if we did have to move up higher here towards this value area high, which is sitting towards this zone of this 2857, this would tie in with if we are looking to potentially extend to the upside. Although we're talking about actually coming a lot higher here. So if we do look to move up past this zone, it would be more likely that we're going to be looking for this 1-to-1 higher up. Looking at the speed fan here, we can see that we've actually held this lower blue line area here. Now, what I'm looking for is, as we do move up through these levels, what we could see is interaction with these other lines on the way up. So we do have this one which is directly above us towards this 2154. If we did have to move up into these levels, I'd be interested to see whether we get rejection off of this. If we reject off of this, we could actually, that could tie into that idea of still seeing further continuation to the downside. However, if we do actually move back above this and start to find support, this could tie into that idea of the extension, where we're looking at this as 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5, looking for that higher target. So we're going to keep an eye on these as the structure starts to play out here, and watch how it reacts around these different levels. Looking at the weekly CPR, we can see that we are currently approaching this S1 line. Now, this S1 line is sitting here towards this 02107. Now, if this actually maintains that idea of that fourth wave, it is possible we could actually face a rejection off this line. However, if we do actually move above this, what we could then potentially do is look to move towards this S2 line, which is sitting here towards this 2171. and alternatively this S3 line up here towards this 02286. If we do reject here and we move back into these central pivot points and we start to lose these, we could actually start to look to test these R1 lines. So the R1 lines are here at this 1925, this 1808, and this lower region here of this 1743. So I would be very interested to see how we react here. If we fail to break through this zone, potentially we could see a retest of the blue lines. If we fail to hold those, we could actually look to move to the downside. However, if we, like I said, if we do break through this green S1 line here, potentially what we could then see is that possibility of continuation to the upside. Now, if we look at the monthly CPR lines, what I'm looking at here is that we've actually come down already to this R1 line. Obviously, this is only valid for the next 2 days or until the 1st. And what I'm looking for here is that as long as we are above this R1 line, we could potentially start to see price action move towards these central CPR lines again, which is sitting between this zone of this 2386 to this higher range, lower range here of this 02273. So if we do move up into this level, what we would be looking for then is seeing how we interact. Like I said, on the 1st, we're going to get some new CPRs printed, and these could give us some indications of what we might see within the month. Looking at the Ichimoku cloud, what we can see here is we've actually broken above the cloud on the 4-hour. We are starting to build up a little bit of cloud below us on the green here. However, it's not very thick, so we could actually just pass straight back through this. So we'll have to monitor this and see how this plays out. But what we are looking at here on the 8-hourly is that we're actually currently sitting within this. If we do reject off of this, potentially we could see a retracement down towards this lower level of this 1968 as a possible area we could look to find support. Alternatively, if we do look to continue to push up, this zone here of this 02260 could be quite an interesting area to keep an eye on. We do also have the conversion line sitting towards this 0193 below us, and the baseline sitting towards us 0176. So these could also potentially offer us support if we have to move down into those levels. Now, looking at the daily, higher up here, we do have this red cloud building up again. Now, it is starting to get quite thick. There is potential that we could actually look to break up through this where it is skinny here. But even if we did move to the upside, we need to just be careful that if we do get an interaction with this, it is a potential resistance point where we could actually see this reject and start to fall away. As well as that, we do have this baseline which is sitting in quite an interesting level here towards this 02257. So this would tie in with that idea that, if we did look to push up higher here and even potentially come and retest these highs here towards this zone of this 02292, we could still face a rejection off of this and look to break down. So we need to really see price action start to follow through if we are looking for that bullish scenario to play out. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.